This video is all about how I closed 4 deals for my first open house and how open houses have become a big part of my real estate business. I'm James George with the British Real Estate team with EXP, and I've sold over $30 million worth of sales in just over 2 years of being in real estate. I had no budget, I knew nobody when I came to the US. I started by doing open houses, door knocking, social media, and networking. So how did I close 4 deals for my first ever open house? Well, my first ever open house, what I decided to do is I decided to do a British afternoon tea theme. I invited the whole neighborhood. We had over 75 people, and it was literally one person would come in, one person would leave, 3 people would come in, one person would leave. I was just all over the place trying to grab people's details. Please go and see the house while I speak to this person. I grabbed everyone's details. I did follow up. And don't get me wrong, I didn't close 4 deals in the first 2 weeks of real estate. It was a long grind, and those 4 deals were over a year. But it just shows you, if you do the right things, then you close deals from doing open houses. So you need to find the right open house. So what you want to do is maybe find someone in your office or your brokerage, or just look online for some of the top agents. Sometimes these top agents don't want to do open houses. They have these amazing listings, and they actually don't put the time and effort in of doing open houses. So reach out to as many people as you possibly can and try and build relationships with them so that maybe you're the person they go to for doing the open house. So make sure you get the price point right. You don't want to pick a house that's maybe $5 million, because the truth is you're trying to find multiple buyers and trying to build your business. And if you've got this really big expensive house, you're probably not going to have a multitude of people coming through. Try and pick something that's great for a family, maybe a first-time family, that's a great price point. You'll get a lot of people come through to the house. Try and pick something that's not been on the market for too long, and ideally something which has just come on the market. And then what I do is I design some flyers. I use free software, something like Canva, for example, is something that you can use. I design some nice flyers and I put information on the open house and invite everyone to come to it. And then on the back, I might have more information on myself. At the moment, I put lots of information on regards to what homes we've sold. To begin with, then you might want to maybe put some information on what homes have sold in the area, because you haven't sold any. But the key thing is that you just print off something on paper. When I first started, I was at a brokerage that had a free printer that we could use. Now I work from home and I just print off the flyers at home using a normal printer and normal paper, and I just hand them out, hardly any cost at all. I'll look to do maybe between 1 to 200 of those flyers. And what I'll do quite often is I'll actually go out and I will door knock and hand out those flyers. I'll probably do that on maybe the Thursday or Friday before the open house, so that it's fresh in their mind. And I'll door knock. And what I'll do is I'll just knock on the door and just say, I'd like to invite you to the open house around the corner. And then they might ask some questions about the house, whatever, and just try an open conversation with them. There are times when maybe I just fancy going for a run that day, and I'll literally get on my running gear, I'll put my headphones in, and I'll just go around and I'll just hand out the flyers and just leave them on people's doorsteps. And if I see someone getting in and out of their car, or maybe mowing their lawn, or whatever it is they're doing, I'll take the headphones out and I'll start conversation with them. So there's different ways that you can do it, but I'm actually going to be doing another video on how one of my first ever deals, I got a $34,000 check, sold a 1.7 million place from door knocking. So make sure you check out that video. So then you have the open house itself. I always dress accordingly to the house that I'm in. If I'm in a $5 million mansion, I'll put the suit on and look $1 million. If I'm in a starter family home, then maybe a suit probably isn't the right outfit for it, and I'll dress accordingly depending on what I think my clients are looking for in a realtor. When people come through the home, I'm always smiling, I'm always really friendly, I'm always really approachable. And one of the first things I do is try an open conversation with them. I'll say something like, how many houses have you seen today? If it's really hot or big or it's hot outside, how many houses have you seen today? And I'll just use a line that's really friendly and starts the conversation. Obviously, before the coronavirus, I would probably shake someone's hand. And one of the things I always try and do is try and get their information early in the conversation, but it depends on how busy your open house is. If it's just you and them and they're the first one to turn up, you've got more time to start conversation with them. I might start the conversation, start chatting to them, and then during that conversation say, I just need to get you to sign in. And I normally use my mobile phone to get them to sign in and use an app. I often use Spacio. You can use it free for 1 month. I remember the first open house I did, I used it got it free for a month, and I actually signed up a few different times from a few different emails when I first started so I could keep using it. But there are lots of other apps out there that you can use just so you get people's details. You can use an iPad, a phone, but one thing I'd really recommend not doing is using pen and paper. The truth is when you go back to input that information, you actually find that you can't read their email address, you don't know what number they've put down, and you find that most of the time the information that you've got isn't usable. So I highly recommend using a phone or an iPad, or even use a laptop to get their information. So when the open house gets really busy, it's obviously impossible to get everyone to sign in as they come through the house, because you're probably having a conversation with someone else. So in that situation, what I often do is allow them to come in. I'll quickly say hi when I'm having a conversation to someone else and say, please do have a look round and we'll speak later. And then try and finish that conversation with someone. And what I'll often do is take notes on my phone, or even have a notepad where you can take notes down. And then when that person leaves, I'll then grab that other person that's come in and take down their information and start a conversation with them. So you kind of have this conveyor belt. And I remember my first ever open house, when I'd not even done it before, 75 people coming through the house in 3 hours. It was quite stressful trying to deal with it all, but I made sure I got everyone's details. Even a couple of times, someone had a quick look around the house. I had to stop a conversation with someone and say, I just need to go and grab their details. And I'd run after someone and say, hi, did you like the home? Can I just grab your details before you go? Maybe we can have a conversation another time about what you're after. And I'm really good at making sure that I get everyone's details. I think if you're confident and you're friendly and you're very assertive, people are more than willing to give you your information. If you're not confident, you're like, hi, it's okay if I get your details, then you're giving them an excuse to say no. I think it's all about being confident, shoving the phone in their face and just saying, hi, thank you for coming to our open house today. Would you mind signing in? And I find 9 out of 10 times they always sign in for me. One of the things you also need to do is judge people's body language and if they're the type of person that you're probably going to be comfortable working with. If someone comes through the house and they've got their head down and they're not very social at all, I normally find they're not the right person for me to work with anyway, and I normally just let them come in. I sometimes don't even ask for them to sign in and let them walk around the house. When they come through the door, they're really smiley, they're really friendly, and they're like, hello. The good thing is I've got a British accent. So like, hey, oh, there's an accent. Where are you from? Oh, yes, my mother's English. I've been to England once. It starts the conversation. And what I find is they're the people that I'm most likely to be able to work with. So they're the ones that I spend my time and effort on. If there's someone that you just can't connect with and can't click with, don't even bother about taking their details. The truth is you're probably not going to be the right person to work with them anyway. So you've had a really good open house. You've had 50, 75, 100 people for your open house, or maybe you've just had a couple. You've built some relationships up. The next stage is probably, if not the most important, is the follow-up. With the follow-up, you need to make sure that, first of all, you follow up. There's so many realtors do an amazing open house. They might build relationships with people and then they don't even follow up with them. So the follow-up is absolutely crucial. And the first thing that I think you're best doing is actually just finding out if they like the house or not, what they like and what they don't like. So often send them a text message saying, thank you for coming along to our house, or an email, or call them. And it's the same message. It's, did you like the home? What did you like about the home? What did you not like about the home? Find out what they like about the home. Yeah, ideally it'd be great if they buy that home and you represent them, but most of the time they're not going to be purchasing the home that you're doing the open house in. There's going to be things that are wrong with that house, and maybe there's something else that you know would be more suitable for them. So give them some value, send them some properties that they might be interested in, find out what they're really after, and then maybe try and show them some other properties. I know once someone came into a house that I actually had for sale myself. I knew the property wasn't right for them. They said there's a property that they would like to go and see. What did I do? As soon as the open house finished, I went to go and show them that property. And that's the type of thing that you want to be looking to do, is trying to find out really what they're after and then show them value and then send them other properties that they might be interested in. And then don't just stop there. Put them in your CRM database. I'll do another video on CRM databases and what you're best doing with them and follow up. But the ideal situation is that you keep in contact with these people. My first ever listing, I met them at the open house. They had it listed with another agent. And I stayed in contact with them. And I think it was about 3 months later, she gave me a call and said that agent has not sold the property. They've hardly got anyone through to see it. And they want me to have a go at selling the house. They ended up buying a place as well. That was 3 months later. I had another person a year later they contacted me. They'd not replied to any of my text messages, any of my calls, or any of my emails. 1 year later, she called me and said, James, you've been texting, calling, and emailing me for 1 year. I'm sorry I never responded, but now's the time I want to sell my home. So that's why it's completely crucial that you follow up at least once a month with all the people that come through your open house, because they may not be ready to buy or sell now, but in the future, you want to make sure they think of you when they go to buy or sell a property. So I hope you liked the video. If you're interested in watching more videos like these, then please do watch the other videos that I've got on my YouTube. I'm going to try and do one of these, at least one a week, if not 2, 3, 4, 5 a week. If there's any other content that you'd be really interested, let me know. We also offer a lot of free training as well. So if you're interested in becoming a top realtor, please do let us know, as we would love to be able to help train you reach your goals. You can drop me an email at james@homeissandiego.com. Follow us on social media at The Brit Team, and drop me an email, text, or call 760-978-5725.